Hello everyone, this is Greyshot17.
And Greyshot151 here, also known as Tyler, also known as the guy that just watched Iron Fist, and... Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it's funny how every time I watch a Netflix show, I'm inflicted by something. I was sick with, I had an issue with Luke Cage where I was going through some personal. I was dying during Daredevil Season 2. I was sick during Jessica Jones, loved the first Daredevil, and now I had surgery, so while I was recovering, I watched Luke.
He underwent an operation, and he had to stay, an hour and a half, 2 hours later, because you had the strongest bones that they ever experienced.
Yep, that's the thing. I have apparently really strong bones, which is why I have never gotten a broken bone. Though, I can now say we have both gotten stitches.
Congratulations. It only took you, 23 years?
Yeah, I gave it to him when I was 5.
Speaking about getting stitches, Iron Fist. A show that is probably going to be taking a beating from critics. And,
it is.
And what I will say, can we go, I guess...
Alright, general impressions, yes.
It is the weakest of the bunch, yes. But it's still entertaining.
Easily the weakest. I know, some people say, Daredevil Season 2. It's no. If I would consider, Jessica Jones and the first Daredevil series to be A.
Yeah, they're A
level. Top tier. And then you go Luke Cage and Daredevil Season 2 is a B+. We're not saying that Luke Cage or Daredevil Season 2 is terrible. I really enjoyed it. I may have been dying, but I enjoyed it.
That's like comparing The Dark Knight versus
Iron Man.
The original
I
Iron Man.
really like Iron Man, yeah.
They're both great films, but everyone has their opinion on which one is better.
Yeah.
Iron Fist, though, is basically comparing the Incredible
Hulk. Like a C rank.
No, the Incredible Hulk to the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
That's essentially what you're comparing.
Actually, I would say this is worse than Thor. This is by far the worst Marvel thing I've watched. That being said...
I would say this is better than Dark World.
No, Dark World, I will say this actually reminded me of Halo. I will give it that. I also... the invasion sequence, I'm like, that could be Covenant ships.
You know what it reminded me of?
What?
A horrible romantic. I hated the romance.
Yeah.
The comedy felt forced.
Lady Sif all the way.
The comedy felt so forced that I could feel the pressure. It was bad. I did not enjoy this movie.
I thought it was okay. But anyway, I think it's on that tier where it's this is the standout of a terrible This is worse than anything on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
It's good.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. first season is better than this.
It's not terrible, but okay. So let's dive into the spoilers. So we're gonna
wait. Again, it's an okay show. Yeah, maybe just skip it for Defenders. If you really want to see it, watch it.
Just skim it. You can skim it.
If you don't like it in the first episode, just stop. Just don't put it through because I will tell you this: it's not worth it. That said, spoilers now. Spoiler territory. So again, it's okay. Is our review score?
So essentially, for a review. Danny Rand,
the main character,
yes,
Iron Fist,
yes. Essentially, he's a gentleman that, at a young age, he and his family were in a plane crash in the Himalayas. He was rescued by monks, taken to.
Sorry. Once again, we're gonna have parents. All right, parents die. Check. Crash in the middle of nowhere. Check. Raised by other group or by themselves. Checked. Return to get their money back. Check. Man, it sounds like a lot of superhero tropes just all written down. It's we're going to take these and play in this show.
Which it shouldn't be, and I honestly did like how they reintroduced Danny, which he basically was like a monk, which I thoroughly enjoyed.
Oh yeah, the first episode has a couple nice things about it.
Yeah, he literally is just a guy out of the place, and again... There's some problems I don't like. For instance, he figures out how to drive a car way too quick.
Yeah, he's 10. It's he's been gone for 15 years, and now he can drive a car. It's I don't think so. Dude.
Well, he did backpack across the world, so maybe he learned.
Oh yeah, he's gonna learn in Morocco how to drive a car when he could barely.
He had to get to Morocco. Yeah. He could have taken a boat. He could have taken a plane or a car.
But he's driving a goddamn Aston Martin down the street full throttle. No.
Yeah, exactly. Or the fact I also want to make note of this. He is Iron Fist, yes?
Yes. It doesn't use
that. By the way, okay, there's another character, Colleen Wing. She's kind of like a dojo instructor, and later she...
Best part of the show.
By far, best character.
Best character. Her, Claire's back in this from the other TV shows.
She's good. She's always good.
Madame Gao's pretty good.
Madame Gao's really good. I always like her when she's in.
Okay, and
there's one part that I don't like.
These three female characters... Mostly Davos. We'll get to why not
which
later.
is like Danny Rand's like I wouldn't say brother, but essentially they grew
good
up
best
together.
friend in the monk area. Was it Kunlong?
Kunlun, yeah.
Yeah. Which, by the way, spoilers, you never see.
Yeah.
I kept waiting for that Luke
episode.
Cage or Jessica Jones where they do a flashback and it's like, this is it. Because they do Jessica Jones in the house, it's perfect.
They do it Daredevil.
Luke Cage, they do it awesome in the prison. I'm like, bravo. Daredevil, they do it growing up, and it's so good. And they spatter things about. Even the main villain.
But they use different sequences. I swear to God, they cut back to him inside the plane so many times.
And not just that. That goddamn. We only saw it's like a pass. And I'm like, why are you just showing this? You could literally just have like a mountainside area, and that's it. And anytime they was like, oh, we're in China now. It's like, no, you're not. I did not believe that you went to China and you showed up in this area. I know it's like we only have a certain amount of budget, but then don't go to China.
It seemed like their budget was misplaced.
Yeah.
In quite a few areas. What I will also say in this, they should have just made a short series then, I think, as well. Because it also felt kind of spaced out. But what I will also say in this
but also Danny Rand kept going back and forth. I never got a sense of his character. I never got like what he was, because he would be like emotionless one moment, crazy funny next moment, and then a kick butt fighter, and he just kept going between it. He would have PTSD moments, even though he could control his emotions. He
kept suppressing it, yet it was eating away at him.
He wanted his name back, but he didn't care about the company at all. It's like, what
do you want?
What do you want? That's my biggest issue with the main character. I never got into his character.
Daredevil, you understood. Jessica Jones, you understood. Luke Cage, you understood. You got him. But this character is easily is the most wonky or like the most flimsy. You never get a solid foundation. And therefore, when he's in danger, when something happens to him, you don't feel that connection. Like when Daredevil is fighting just defeats the Japanese guy by lighting him on fire, and then fights the Kingpin, and he's broken and bruised and battered.
I never got a sense of this. Even when he was injured, I'm like, you're not injured.
There's nothing.
And power scale, they never really got like. There are moments where it's like, okay, you use Iron Fist, he's pretty powerful, but then it's just like it's convenience. It's like, okay, we need him to use the Iron Fist now.
Iron Fist, yeah. The other note I have is while all the other shows have
he's never in a suit, by the way.
They did show a flashback sequence of another previous Iron Fist in the Iron Fist costume,
but it's black and white.
Yeah, why doesn't he like add that? Like the other note is he doesn't care about his name, but he doesn't hide his face. That's the problem. At least Daredevil and Jessica Jones. Well, Jessica Jones kind of solved it because actually no, that wasn't her shtick. It was Daredevil at least got away with it.
Jessica Jones doesn't really have an outfit, I would say.
No, yeah, but that's with her.
She was more of a journalist kind of thing in the comics, and I don't. And maybe I'm completely off. I know Luke Cage has his signature costume.
Well, she's like a
Daredevil has a signature costume.
Well, Luke Cage, it works out. Yeah. And Jessica Jones, those are bad examples, and that's my apologies because that's to their character.
Yeah.
Like people are supposed to know who they are.
Yeah.
That's why they're called Jessica Jones and Luke Cage.
Yeah.
And that's why. But Iron Fist, the reason why they don't call the show Danny Rand is because he's supposed to be a superhero. No one's supposed to know he's the freaking Iron Fist. The only problem is he basically flaunts it. He shows up and kung fu's the he doesn't use kung fu.
That's so weird. Like, cause who uses it? Spoiler. He uses it against a cop, and it's like, why? What?
Why?
Are you trying to reveal the world that you're Iron Fist? Like, what's going on?
Yeah,
here?
There's no sense of like you're trying to keep things hidden. Whereas,
or even if he wants to keep it hidden or not, it's so confusing because he hides his face, but then other moments he doesn't.
It would have been better, honestly, if he would have entered the world as Iron Fist and discovered Danny Rand.
Yeah,
like that was the whole thing. This whole
show, on an objective to kill the Hand, and he finds out, oh, I'm this, and that is a conundrum, and that's a conundrum. That would have been better because then, like. You could have him lose his power, and as he tries to get more and more into Danny Rand.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be.
That's awesome. Yes,
that's supposed to be. He's supposed to be a living weapon.
Yeah,
and he was trained for this his entire life. Which, by the way, 15 years being brainwashed in a monastery, you'd think he would actually.
By the way, they make the Hand seem good guys, and then turn that. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Kind of foreseen.
Yeah, but then the more and more they kept talking about Kunlun, I'm like, why the fuck?
Why is this a good place?
Why? Yeah, why? He's being beaten, bruised, and fighting. I'm like. This doesn't sound like a good place. This sounds like child abuse. And then they molded you, which, by the way, they bring up in the show and then kind of like backtrack.
Gloss over, yeah.
Yeah. And then it's like...
Which, by the way, Bravos is by far... Davos. He is God, he has anger issues.
Yeah.
He's not trust.
But
like,
you get his character.
The example of what I think Danny Rand should have been when he showed up.
Yeah.
He should have been in a freaking costume. He should have been the Iron Fist when
he
showed up.
And he starts taking off pieces of himself until finally, let's say halfway through, he becomes Danny Rand, and then he has to recover. He needs to
recover himself, like get back into the company and such. Like that would have been.
Which, by the way. Okay, so we should probably mention the other half, because everyone's thinking this show's like a ninja show.
Oh,
half of this show is boardrooms.
Which I liked. I'm an accountant. I like that stuff. It was kind of cool.
My problem is it was so... my problem with a lot of this stuff is you knew how it was going to go. There wasn't anything interesting about it. And then the Meachums who took over the company.
Essentially, there's three of them. There's the father figure,
who died but not dead because the hand
he's still alive. Yeah,
the hand's
manipulative
keeping him hiding.
father. There's the manipulative son, who is basically a drug addict and only listens to his father. Which, by the way,
who everyone thinks he's a great person. Yet I've never seen one instance of him doing a good thing in that show. Maybe one good boardroom decision, even you could say with his father, that he made. He didn't make a single damn one. He's like,
with his father, he did.
No.
As soon as they found Danny Rand, he's the one that he basically followed. He was his father's tool. He basically did everything his father did. Not Claire. What's the sister? Joy. Joy. She
frustrated me too because I'm like,
I liked her.
No, here's my reasoning.
Okay.
Here's the reason why I don't like her. Because when you start to think like, oh, she's like the one, but the more you try to connect, and this is actually the opposite effect I had with Harold. The more you try to connect with her, the more devious she got. Like, she's a goddamn...
Well, for me, okay, so...
Like, she's like, I care about the people, but the company is the big thing.
But my note is...
And it's just like, well, there's no proof. I'm like, all right, if there's no proof, then say something. Don't...
But here's the thing. Every time she was proven or put to the test, she would show her true colors and she would be the good person. Because when Danny Rand came up...
And that's not true, because the ending...
No. Hold on.
All right.
That was... Okay, but you can see that every time throughout the show, to face something tough, she went the opposite way. She went towards helping the people.
You're right. She's the most likable out of the bunch, I would say.
Well, and she also helped Danny Rand by giving him the tool they needed to recover his name, because she knew it was him. She also was the one that gave him a chance. She was also the one that helped him. And by the way, I will also make note, both of us disagree on one character in particular. That's Harold Meachum.
Here's my rationale.
He is the father figure.
All right, you say your thing.
My note for me is, from the very beginning, he seemed like a Donald Trump-esque figure.
I can
Someone
agree.
That would take you under your wing. You'd believe him as soon as you talk to him. You think he'd be on his side, and the moment you turned around, he'd stab you in the back. He'd act a new protocol. He'd have a devious plan. He'd do something of that nature. He's only thinking out for himself. And that you can see by acting through his son to get his wishes done through the company. You can see that through Joy in regards to using her to get the hand. Yes, he did care for his children.
Yeah.
But he cared more about himself more.
And he was, by the way, he feared the hand.
Yes. And he used others to get rid of the hand. That's all that he cared about. Yeah. He didn't... Yes, he wanted to...
Oh, by the way, they say they want to get rid of the hand. The hand's not gotten rid of. They say they got rid of it. Nothing changes.
Yeah, nothing really occurs. But my note is, I never felt relatable to him, because I always felt him as that asshole in the... But he had a nice face, but he was always kind of a jerk.
That asshole.
He was... Yeah, that asshole. And... when Danny Rand showed up and they had emotional reunion, I knew it was just him playing on the emotions. It was just an act.
Maybe
and that's why when you slowly saw him go darker and darker throughout the series, it wasn't a change in his character. It was just bringing when he comes back. Essentially, he's just losing that bit. That's basically that thing the high.
Yeah. By the way, he dies. He dies in this show. The son murders him. Like, oh, I guess we're not going to resolve that character. And he comes back. I'm like, oh.
But even then, he says, oh, I forgive you, you can go. And then he immediately has his son thrown into a ward so he can use him later. To
be fair, at that point, I'm like, okay, here's my problem.
Okay.
The son was so dislikable. He did nothing to make him even remotely a character that you want to root for or even had a character.
Or like.
Yeah. And I'm just saying, like, okay, you're an evil bad guy. And the problem is with Harold is at least he was, like, kind of a charmer and kind of like a good business person, so you you liked him. And that actually, my thought of this process was the hand was the big bad guy, but no, it's Harold. They turn on its head in the last episode, like Harold's the big bad guy, even it's like,
which for me worked.
It didn't,
because for me it made perfect sense. It was him slowly losing that facade the entire series before the cloak comes off and you see the monster that he truly is.
My problem is it felt so forced on that. In my opinion, what I personally wanted was a character that had problems. And by the way, I knew as soon as he killed his assistant, which he has an assistant, and then he murders, like, okay, this is what they're doing. But even with that, they made him, like, after he did it, he broke down after that. And that's was so confusing, is like, he would do something malicious, but he would always, like, come back and seem so sympathetic, even not to anyone else, but himself. For example, when his daughter was hurt, he didn't have to go after the guys who hurt his daughter, but he did. That's something that other things. And even though they didn't...
And then he killed him in cold blood.
Wait. Here's the thing, though, is my thing. It's like, okay, you don't mess with the daughter. And to be fair, they literally did throw her in the hospital and attacked multiple people with hatchets. So... I wasn't that, again, I'm not like, okay, you're going after you're fighting triads, evil people who are literally kidnapping people. No,
this isn't Daredevil breaking every bone in their body, making them wish they were never born.
Like, don't come back.
This is him murdering someone in cold blood and saying, never do this to me,
yeah,
or my daughter, or
But that being said, I can see that as someone trying to, like, again, just like I've seen that in other, like, war films and stuff like that, like, don't come back. Essential, or like The Last of Us, like he takes one guy and it's like, you don't come back, otherwise I will get the rest of you, and they fall back. Saving Private Ryan's one.
Yeah. He kills the one guy and lets them all go.
Yeah, but and again, it's not. I don't think they're all evil. It's just like, I don't mess with my stuff. The problem is, like, for me, what I thought was going to be the most interesting part, and what would have been really awesome, is when he died, because he dies and he comes back and he seems so, it's weird, emotional, joyous, and even when he comes back, there's a sense like maybe he's going to change, and that's what would have been so interesting in his character if he's been manipulated by the hand and he's just trying to survive. If he actually
would have been that good
reborn of sorts, kind of like a chance that other villains don't really get, because that would have made a kind of a 180 approach.
I would have liked that if they would have also acknowledged that, again, he does kill Danny's parents. Yeah. They do mention that. And
wait, what?
Yeah, he's the one that killed Danny's parents.
Madame Gao admitted.
No, she didn't.
All right, so how did he kill the parents?
Oh my god, did you not pay attention to the ending?
I did.
Apparently you skimmed it. So basically, he kills her parents by getting a poison from Gao and saying he needed it for a competitor, or like he needed it for something. And then
was this when he was spouting stuff on the roof?
No, this was when they were talking to Gao in the room.
Oh, I thought at that point he was just losing his freaking mind.
No.
By the end of it, he's just losing it, and I'm just
he's not there. It's just Gao, Colleen, and Randy.
By the way, I never believed, like, anything Gao said. I'm like, you're an evil douchebag who wants everything.
No, I believe. I believe
you are
Gao.
Dishonorable. Like, she says, you complete this, we will not hurt the girl and stuff like every time. And then she's like, dishonorable. I'm like, just murder her. I'm sorry, just murder Gao. She says she's about honor, but she lies all the time and everything. So that's why.
But she tells the truth. That's the thing. She's manipulative, but she tells you the truth.
Maybe I dislike Gao so much I didn't believe what she was saying. So anytime that, I just blocked it out.
I see, Gao is the most entertaining thing in the show.
Oh, she's good. She's a good character. I'm just saying, like, she mentions pure-hearted evil, and it seemed like they were just forcing evil characteristics into other characters to make him seem evil, like the son, like the father, like the sister.
I will make note that when she basically says he poisoned the pilots, that way, because the Wendells, which Wendell Rand and the wife were finding out about whole situation in China.
Wait, how'd she poison the pilots?
She didn't.
No, how'd he poison the pilots?
Before they took off. Because remember Colleen, she got a slight slip and it took time? That's exactly what happened to the pilots. Colleen got slit and it was poisoned and it took time for her to die. Same thing happened to the pilots. But he said they poisoned the pilots, that way they'd go down, that way the pilots would die, the plane would crash, and they didn't have to worry.
I'm sorry, the reason I bring that up as rationale, it took like a day. It took a day for that, and their plane crash was just an hour. Like, it wasn't that far of a plane
She got
crash.
a scratch. You don't know how much they gave her. Like, they gave the pilots. And it was ingested versus getting cut.
Yeah, again, I just don't, like...
This
is how bad this show is. It's like, I don't even know, and like...
I pay attention to the series,
like,
I'm sorry.
That's how disconnected I was. It was just like, okay, I like certain characters and not, I don't like this person.
Meacham admitted to murdering them, basically.
Oh, yeah, then, yeah, go fuck that guy, but... Again, it's just...
Gee, wonder what one piece of information could tell you.
But that's what I mean.
Much like Split.
But that's what I mean.
One little information can change the whole story.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's just like, these characters are so ill-defined that you bringing that up just changed the whole thing. That's like me saying, like, Danny Rand couldn't access his chi because he was still going after, like, trying to forget the past. But then you look into all that time, and it's like he's been trained to block emotion, and they even say, you block emotion. If I didn't hear that, I would know. That's how ill-defined these characters are. And I'm sorry I didn't hear that, and I'm sorry if I went down this rant.
I will also make note, that is why your note would be much better. Is he would have been a change, if they would have had the hand as the enemy, he would have helped, and they realized...
And then go through that, like, I'm sorry, you can do whatever you want.
You can kill me again.
Yeah, kill me, I don't care anymore. It's like...
I'm sorry. Like,
yeah.
I wish...
That would have been more impactful than, like, the stupid shootout they had on the roof.
Do you kill the man reborn, or do you kill the killer? Like, he's technically the killer, but he's a man reborn. Like, that would have been so... Again, this show could have been done so much better.
Because you say a piece of them is lost. And I thought when he was reborn that it was just like, okay, he's now full douchebag. But if that's the case, it would have been interesting if he came back and he lost that... maniacal sense about him, and he was just it was so repentful that it kind of led him to be. But yeah, that's the problem with this show. It's like I was never able to pinpoint these characters, and while I like some and I didn't like others, even
Colleen, you're making me feel real good about myself because I thought I didn't pay attention to this, and apparently I'm the wizard of Iron Fist. I know every detail.
Again, I'm sorry about that. I did. Maybe it's because, again, I just didn't like Gao. But also, like, the whole, like, ending with now, was it... apparently, Kung Lung's gone.
Yeah,
there's a dragon. You barely see its eyes. And, Davos and the girl are now playing against Danny for some reason, even though the father was evil and admitted it to everyone in front of everyone. It's like, what?
Yeah, so basically this show, if you want to catch up with the Defenders, like, you want to see every series... Go right ahead. But this is the weakest of the bunch. It has some good points. It has some bad points.
It has some nice fights, but there's few.
It kind of feels like a show that didn't have the budget to do what it wanted to do, and it should have shortened itself. It should have changed itself.
It needed rewrites, yeah.
Yeah, it needed a lot more rewrites. But in any case, that's our review of Iron Fist. It's
take it or leave it.
Yeah, it's basically a mess series. So, we will see you next time where we will be doing a review of Life. It should be interesting.
Oh, boy. The Alien ripoff, here we come.
Hey, did you actually hear the rumor that this was supposed to be the prequel to the Venom movie?
That would have been awesome.
That would have been... If that was it, I was like... I heard that rumor, I was like, oh my god, that's genius.
That would have been genius.
And then it's just an Alien movie.
Guess what? They didn't do it.
I'm still happy about it. It looks cool.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time, guys.